I'm making a start on this Corsair, so I'm not, as usual, I'm not following the instructions. I'm just doing some preparation work. I'll glue some pieces together, clean some gear up, get it ready. I've done just glued the drop tank halves together. So I thought I'll have a look at the fuselage. Is just full of ejection pins. Look at the rear end here, there's heaps. So I'm sort of cleaning them out a bit, but not, you can see that's better, but you can still see where they are. But when the time you put it together, you're be hard pressed to see in there, and obviously when it's displayed you're not seeing it. But I'll just clean them up somewhat because they're pretty bad. Some of them have got big flash on them. I'm using a chisel. I think that one is, not sure now. It's Master Tools. I'm not sure. I think it might be 2mm. Can't remember. I've had it that long. Yeah, 2mm. And I tried with this as well, a little burr tool, just something that'll fit in between the ribs, and just gets a start. And then I'll just come in, just scrape it out with a chisel. That's gotten rid of it, but can obviously you can't fit a sanding stick in there, but if you get some sandpaper, it's really, and cut it in really narrow strips and hold it with your tweezers, you can get in there and smooth it out, and then come in with a bit of glue just to help melt it down. That's the Tamiya extra thin, the fast drying one, but you can use whatever. Or really, you don't need to do anything at all, because like I said, I'm not really going to see it, but I thought I'd make an effort. I'll clean up these because you probably good chance that they will be seen when that goes in. That sit there like that. So yeah, just a bit of prep work. To the side of the cockpit fuselage wall, it's got these mesh parts that sit in. Even there's heaps of little ejection pin holes where you can see the putty, and there was 3 there, bigger ones. I'll clean that up because it just doesn't look right with all the holes in it. I've started, these are shallow, so you could either putty them or just sand them out. I'm just sanding them out, so I've almost got them out. I need a bit more there, but time that goes in now, wrong spot. Yeah, yeah, not really. That one maybe. I'll clean it a bit more anyway, but so the option there, either way, putty or just sand it back, whichever you feel like doing. So I've moved back to the control surfaces, starting to put them together. Right, this is old Trumpeter, so we're talking 2003, you get photo etch in the kit, and it's the old real heavy duty thick gear. So we're putting the this is the left stabilizer. You've got steel rod. There's a whole pack full of rods and some wire. Just go by your measurements. So it's 1 mil, 47 millimeters, so which is that one. And then you got 2 bits of photo etch that go into the rod, and they sit in the movable parts, the fabric parts of the model. Just drop that there, don't lose it. And then you glue the front section of it on, so you can adjust your control surfaces if you want. So nice touch, of course, but it's just, you're looking at, it worked all right there, but some areas I don't know how we'll go with the heavy duty photo etch. So that side's done. Now I'll do the other side, and then I'll probably start moving into the wings. I've been working on the wings. The more I get into it, the more I think this system of all these pins and moving parts is just causing difficulties. They don't fit that great. That one fits all right, but this one I just can't get a good fit on it. Seems to hang out too far from the aircraft. But and the other thing is, I don't want a model that can come and adjust anyway. It's going to be static, so wherever I have the control surfaces, they're going to be glued anyway. I don't want it to come along moving it, because that's only a matter of time for something to break anyway. Like when you display a model in a cabinet, that's just sits there. Well, for me anyway, not that I keep many, but so I'm gonna just keep moving along with this one wing, see if I can get a better fit. Yesterday I spent a couple of hours trying to work it out, get it a good flush fit with this inner flap, but yeah, it's just doesn't seem to want to play the game at the moment. Okay, this is the right gear bay, and again, it's just full of ejection pin marks. I honestly am shocked at how how bad this kit is. I know it's early Trumpeter, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. Anyway, I'm trying to find a way to make it a bit easier on myself. I've gone to a method that I haven't used for years because I actually don't like it. It's the sprue glue, as they call it. You get your glue and put sprue in it, except I don't put sprue in it. I use when I mix that up, I use plastic card, because I know it's the one medium. If you go putting different sprue in, every manufacturer's sprue is different hardness. So just to keep it, I know plastic card's hard, so I use that, and I put in some acrylic, like fluorescent orange paint, so I could see it better. But yeah, I haven't used it for years. I'm trying it now because of this ribbing. It's so hard to get at to sand properly, and the ejection pin marks are pretty deep, so chiseling out and sanding out, it's just going to take forever. So all I wanted was just try and get enough just fill in the ejection pin. Just to, and when it dries it'll flatten down as well. But you can see there already, that one I put too much in. So when it dries I have to sand that one. But this one is looking better, but I'm just gonna do this one, let it, it's gonna have to dry overnight again, so that's a shame, but it is what it is. So I'll probably put this kit aside now and work on something else, because I don't want to go doing this if it's not gonna work how I want it to. So I'll do this section, see how it goes, and if it works then I'll continue on, because the ribbing on the side is full of ejection pins as well. I mean, yes, you won't see all that when the model's sitting flat, but I'd like to do something better than what the kit's got there, so we'll see how that goes. Well, I've been messing around some more with these wings and the flaps. It's really, gotta say, this kit is awful, really awful. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, of course, but like I said, I bought it, I don't know, probably 8-10 years ago. I don't know, all the system with these photo etch pieces that are attached to the each individual control surface is good in theory, but it's when you go to put them in, they don't work, because they're attaching to one another. You can't do one, like these two are supposed to be attached to each other, but the way it works, as it lowers down, they spread out further. So I've just gone my own way with it all. I've added them, but I've put them in not how the instructions say, I put them how I can get it to work for me, because honestly it would have been better to have them retracted in the neutral position, but from what I can gather, when the aircraft's at rest they droop, so I'm attempting to best I can. So I've done a whole wing just to make sure I can get it all to go how I need to get it to work how I'm doing it. The actual wings, wing to wing section, it's not the greatest either, because the kit's meant to fold up. Basically it's made to be folded up, so you got to try and get it all lined up. It's I've put, you can see some white there, that's plastic I've put, even though there's lips, a small lip that sits over the inner wing. It's not very wide, so I've just, for the purpose of gluing it, I put big, not big, but like, I think it was like 0.4 thick plastic card, just cut them just roughly just to support in there. Yeah, it's just with all that I can honestly tell you, several times today I was just going to throw it in the bin. That's how bad it is. But then I remembered how much I've spent on the aftermarket on this kit, and I'm not letting it beat me that way. So push onwards and upwards. So I'm doing the left wing, getting it together, and you saw the right side, this section had all those ejection pin marks in it, yet this side hasn't got a 1. If they can do that there, why couldn't they do it the other side? Beyond me, that one. Anyway, also I'm going to make up the kit engine, because the resin, you don't have all the back on it like the kit engine, which has all the exhausts and everything on it. So I need to, I'm going to use the kit engine to see how far it sits in the cowl section, so I can get the resin engine sitting right. I don't want it too far back, so I've got to work that out. And the easiest way for me is just to build the kit engine. I'm not painting it, I'll just build it up and sit it in there so I can see where the spinner section, or the front end of the engine, how far forward it sits inside the cowl. Okay, so it nearly broke me mentally. Oh, now I'm going to break it physically. This is together. I've still got a lot of cleanup. I've got to do all the seam lines. Some of the joins are going to need putty, or especially this one's going to need plastic card because it's huge. It fits there, but not there. So I'm just going to clean it up best I can. It was a nightmare, literally. That was just some of the worst gear I've ever experienced. Anyway, I've moved to the cockpit area now. Hopefully this will go easier. So I bought this, the set, who is it again? It's Red Fox. I've not used the brand before, but it's just the acrylic style 3D decals. So instructions show the blue is what needs to be removed off your raised detail. So the main instrument panel only had a tiny bit there and a little bit above that, those switches. So that was easy. This one, so that's B25. I've removed the detail off of that. Now I've got to do B24, all those switches off. So I'm just using a big blade, scrape it off, and then just sanding it down. Once that's done, I need to paint those parts, obviously, before you put them on, because they are painted. So far that seems like it looks easy enough. I've put the frame together for the seat and the back, the headrest, so that I'm going to use the resin seat I bought for that, which has got some nice molded in harnesses. So I'll clean that up as well and get all this happening. Alright, I've put one of these 3D panels in. I've just removed this bigger one. So you can see that's the back of it. They're not actually sticky on this one. I think I've used Quinta Studios and they're sticky. And it does say glue with PVA glue or your CA glue. So I bought a while back, or a few weeks ago, I bought this to try. It's Quinta Studio brand, but shouldn't matter. And I know it's probably just PVA glue, but it was only like $5, so I thought, oh, can't hurt to try something different. All right. and I'm just using a damp cotton bud just with my spit to moisten it up, just to get rid of that. On the black it looks funny, it looks like it's fluorescent. That down there. That side, that corner's wanting to lift up, so I'll hold it down, but you get the gist of how they work. Just when if you're using these and you're taking off this backing paper, they do tell you in the instructions to be really careful because they will break. Use a sharp blade, but try and keep it a thin blade. Just try and get it underneath and just gradually work it along. Because they seem to be sticking pretty well on that paper. And I also got this a wax pen that you can buy them cheap on eBay, like a set of 5, pretty cheap for picking them up. This one mightn't pick because it's so big, but the smaller ones, it just helps to pick them up instead of using tweezers. If you keep pinching them with tweezers, yeah, a good chance you're going to damage the edges. That glue gives you, because it's I'm assuming it's they won't give you the ingredients, I'm sure, but you got time to work it anyway. It's not like CA glue and it's going to go off straight away. So you give them a bit of time to actually set. The last one, the big one. They're really on this backing paper. I don't know how they get them on there, but they're stuck on there good. Yet they're not sticky, so this could be the printing process too. I've never seen how they do it, and I don't know if they just use a 3D printer or. There we go. Alright. Now before I put glue on this, I want to make sure that it fits in that panel. It's supposed to be for this kit. Oh, beautiful. Alright. Ooh, that's too much. Now, beautiful. Yeah, I think you agree you can't get anything better simulated look of an instrument panel than that. Much better than photo etch. So I'm going to let them set overnight probably, just to make sure that sticks down well. I want to go bending things and breaking things. So that's all the instrument panels done with that set, which is another reason why this kit hasn't gone in the bin. All the money I spent on aftermarket.